Everyone, today I'll be doing a video on a new cryptocurrency named Beam, a cryptocurrency that has come into the cryptocurrency space to revolutionize the way transactions are being conducted in the cryptocurrency space. Now, Beam is a decentralized cryptocurrency that has a major function of providing privacy, absolute privacy, and scalability to cryptocurrency transactions. Now, if you are conversant with Bitcoin, you know that one of the major challenges of Bitcoin is that it's not highly scalable. It has a scalability problem. And also, we've always assumed that Bitcoin is private, it's secure because of its use of public addresses. But as we go along in the video, you find out that researchers have shown that Bitcoin actually has loopholes where a user's identity can actually be traced back through the use of public addresses and computer cookies. Now, in conducting this video, I'll be using some materials. Now, this here is the Beam website. Another material I'll be using will be the Beam white paper, which you have here. This is the Beam white paper. I'll be using it to buttress some of the points I'll be making in this video. Now, another material again I'll be using will be Mimblewimble white paper. Now, the Mimblewimble paper or description paper as shown on the screen, I'll talk about Mimblewimble and how it affects Beam. Now, the next resource material I'll be using will be the Medium profile of the Beam platform. There are various materials and various information that we'll get from there that would help us get a better understanding of the Beam concept and what Beam is all about, and actually what it's bringing to the table to the cryptocurrency industry, what new strategies and new plans Beam has for the cryptocurrency industry. Now, with the birth and creation of the cryptocurrency industry, there sprung up other wonderful concepts that came up together with the cryptocurrency concept, like the Bitcoin currency. Now, the Bitcoin currency was the pioneer cryptocurrency that came to the market. It was the first cryptocurrency. It was created by Satoshi Nakamoto. He's actually an anonymous author, the anonymous author of Bitcoin. Now, as Bitcoin came into the cryptocurrency industry, one of the strong points or strong selling points that made Bitcoin appeal to the populace was that it was a currency that, first of all, gave the power over money back to the people, and also was a highly secure and private currency. Now, for years, it was accepted that Bitcoin was a highly secure and private currency until recently. Research showed that Bitcoin was not as private as it was. Now, if you look at my screen, you see when the cookies meet blockchain, privacy risk of web payment via cryptocurrencies. Now, this material, which was published on the Cornell University Library, gave a detailed explanation of how people could actually trace back users of Bitcoin public wallets, identifying the users of those public wallets. Therefore, you found out that the Bitcoin public wallet was no longer as private as we thought they were. Now, situations like this necessitated the need for a cryptocurrency that would be able to provide absolute privacy as well as scalability, which was actually a problem which is actually a problem with Bitcoin. And that led to the birth of a concept called Mimblewimble. Now, before I go into Mimblewimble, I'd like to talk about the main concept here, which is actually BEAM, which is actually the cryptocurrency that is applying the Mimblewimble concept. Now, BEAM has come into the market with a concept, and the concept is that rather than actually experiencing lack of privacy, the coin gives users absolute privacy where no other person apart from the users of a transaction know that transaction is actually going on. That's one. And two, it provides scalability, improves scalability tremendously so that users can, the system can process more transactions per time. Okay, now before I go deeper to discuss about BEAM, I would like to talk about or to introduce the current problems in the cryptocurrency industry that BEAM is coming in to solve. Now, I'll be introducing these problems on the foundation of the various privacy coins that actually presently exist in the market. Now, there's a group of cryptocurrency coins that are termed privacy coins. Now, if you check the BEAM Medium page, you find out that there's a listing of some of these coins that are referred to as privacy coins. Now, if you check, you have Monero, which can be shown on the screen, you have Zcash, and finally you have Dash. These are the three major privacy coins in the industry, in the cryptocurrency industry. Now I'll be talking about the challenges, the pros and cons these coins have. I'll also be talking about the pros and cons that Bitcoin has. Now, Bitcoin is not considered as a privacy coin, but I'll be talking about Bitcoin because Bitcoin is considered as the pioneer currency, cryptocurrency. In addition to the fact that the Mimblewimble technology upon which BEAM is built was actually built to solve the scalability problem that Bitcoin has and also the privacy problem that Bitcoin has. So you find out that it was built with Bitcoin in view. So now I'll be talking about some of the pros and cons of these various coins. Now I'll be starting with Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is the pioneer coin, the pioneer currency, cryptocurrency, no doubt about that. But Bitcoin has privacy issues. Like I said, the report, which can be shown on the screen now, has proved that Bitcoin, through the Bitcoin public address, can actually be traced back to the user of that address, so that through the cookies of the computer of the user, in conjunction with the user's public address, researchers have shown that you can actually trace back the user of that public address. So you find out now that the privacy strength of Bitcoin actually no longer as strong as it used to be. That's one. And secondly, you find out now that Bitcoin has scalability issues. Scalability issues means that when more transactions come into the system, because the system is getting popular, the cryptocurrency is getting popular, these transactions have to experience waiting time. Waiting time meaning that they have to wait for the previous transactions to be processed. Now, each block of the blockchain can accept like 10 transactions, and now you're having 20 transactions coming in. Those 10 transactions have to be processed, while the other 10 have to more like wait for those other 10s to be processed, and this causes waiting time. And these are the cons of Bitcoin. But the advantage of Bitcoin is that at least the public address system of Bitcoin has provided some level of privacy for the Bitcoin blockchain. Now, the next coin I'll be talking about will be Monero. Monero is considered the most popular and strongest privacy coin. When it comes to giving privacy, Monero is considered one of the strongest privacy coin. Now, Monero works on a principle called stealth addressing. Now, what stealth addressing means is that instead of using the public address where you can use it and use it again, a stealth address actually is a one-time use address where you use it once and you can't use it anymore. Now, although this is not absolutely private, like it doesn't give absolute privacy, but the privacy level it gives is very high. That's like Monero is considered the strongest privacy coin before the introduction of Beam. Now the con, that's the negative part of Monero, is that, like I said, it gives partial privacy, not full privacy. And also because of Monero as the Monero team trying to make Monero as secure and private as possible, made the experience a situation where the cryptographic security of Monero became heavy, because privacy and scalability are usually seen as one giving away for the other. Where if you want more privacy, you have to have less scalability, or if you want more scalability, you have to have less privacy. And that's because trying to make your system private requires that you spend more time developing the cryptographic security. And the more you develop the cryptographic security, the heavier the system becomes, demanding more memory and hence making it less scalable. So that's the con of Monero. Now, Zcash is the second most secure privacy coin. Now, Zcoin works, instead of working with the stealth addressing that Monero works with, Zcoin works with the ZK Snack addressing. Now, the ZK Snack addressing works on the zero knowledge proof principle. Now, what this does is that it's a principle whereby you don't have to actually give a detailed validation of the whole history of a blockchain. All you just have to do is give a verdict and prove why that verdict is true. Now, for instance, let's imagine that we have a blind guy and we're trying to let this blind guy know that colors exist. And now he's trying to say, I don't believe colors exist. Now, what we do is that we get two balls of various colors. You can get a golf ball, various colors. Now, you give him these golf balls and tell him to hide it behind his back. Now, he hides these balls behind his back, and you now tell him to swap them. Now, he swaps them and shows you, and you can correctly identify each ball in each of his hands at every time. Now, the more he swaps these balls and the more you easily correctly identify them, you make him believe that your verdict that colors exist is true. Now, you didn't necessarily explain to him the different colors and why colors are different. Now, that's how the Zcash system works. It works on the ZK Snack proof system. And the final one is actually Dash. Dash is considered as another privacy coin, but Dash is not as private and secure as Monero and Zcash. Now, Dash makes use of the coin join system. Now, the coin join system is not as cryptographically strong as that in Zcash and Monero, but it's also a privacy coin. It gives some level of privacy as opposed to the other ones, as opposed to Zcash and Monero. Okay, having talked about the various challenges that have been experienced currently in the cryptocurrency space, now I want to talk about the solution. Now, the solution being Beam. Now, like I said, Beam is a decentralized cryptocurrency that provides privacy and scalability together, not sacrificing one for the other to the cryptocurrency transaction process. So that while using the cryptocurrency, you don't give privacy for scalability. That means you can have both of them in one cryptocurrency at the same time. Now, that's what Beam is. Now, the Beam cryptocurrency has 6 major features. Now, we're talking about them. The first feature is confidentiality. This means that the system protects information, like we talked about previously. It protects information of the users, and it does this by virtue of its use of the Mimblewimble technology. The Mimblewimble technology provides privacy by virtue of the fact that by virtue of the fact that it uses a process or a terminology or a technology called the binding factor. Now, what the binding factor means is that rather than using using the public addressing system to carry out transactions, you could actually use something called a binding factor. Now, a binding factor is more of like a secret code or a secret phrase that is actually common between the users of a particular transaction, so that only the users of that transaction know that phrase, know that secret phrase, and hence can actually communicate with each other. Now, as opposed to use a public system where it's stored on a public node, this binding factor actually is only common between these two users, and hence helps in keeping the information between them alone. With this, now you find out now that confidentiality in the BEAM platform becomes high. Now, the second feature of the BEAM platform is that it's versatile. In addition to the fact that you have a system that helps you in the transfer of coins or currencies from one person to another, it also has a system, an escrow system, where people a transaction can actually be held prior to its confirmation by the receiver or the sender that he has gotten his funds, or his terms have been met. Now, the third one now is called scalability. We talked about scalability. The reason why BEAM is highly scalable is because of the fact that it uses the Mimblewimble technology, where all past history are downloaded, but they are not individually signed or individually analyzed. We talked about the binding factor. Now, the binding factor is not just only a secret phrase, it's also used as more of like a light header. Now, when a transaction takes place, the binding factor is used as the header of that transaction. So now when the BEAM protocol or the BEAM blockchain wants to analyze those transactions, it doesn't need to go in depth to analyze them individually. It can just analyze the header alone. Now, with this analysis of the header, which is actually the binding factor alone, you find out now that the space being consumed for those analysis, those validation, are actually minimized. Now, with this minimized space, you find out now that you can actually process much more transactions per time compared to other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Monero and the rest. This gives scalability. This provides maximum or a very high scalability. Now, the fourth feature is sustainability. Now, the BEAM platform is highly sustainable. Now, why is it highly sustainable? One, because it's open source. Now, also open source means that the community can actually contribute to the development of this platform. It's not actually closed source. Secondly, it's community governed, means that the authority over this platform actually is from the community. And finally, it's actually supported by a pool, the BEAM pool, which is actually 20% of the block mining rewards. This is going to be used for the development of the platform and the promotion of the platform. Now, the fifth feature is called usability. Now, usability is how easy can the BEAM wallet be used. Now, the good news is that the BEAM wallet exists on desktop and mobile, so that if you're on your laptop, you can actually access your wallet. If you're on your mobile, you can actually access your wallet. Now, it's actually been built with these functionalities. Now, finally, is compatibility. Now, you cannot be talking about cryptocurrency in this age without talking about compatibility. Now, compatibility has to do with how well this BEAM system can be compatible with other existing mining systems. Now, don't forget now that the blockchain has to deal with miners a lot, and because of the variety of miners and mining systems, there has to be the compatibility of these systems with one another, and the BEAM platform has this compatibility. Now I'll be talking in depth about the Mimblewimble technology. Now Mimblewimble was actually a phrase rather, or a word, a spell, a tongue-tying spell that was used in the Harry Potter series, where if a person wants to stop you from revealing a secret, all he has to do is use the Mimblewimble spell, and your mouth will actually be closed from revealing that secret. Now, that's just the meaning of the name, but the technology of Mimblewimble is a technology that actually provides or makes available high privacy as well as high scalability to transactions, to cryptocurrency transactions. Now, it functions in this way because, one, it makes use of a system where the blockchain history is actually downloaded but is not analyzed individually as in Bitcoin, where you have to individually analyze each signature and then from your analysis now know the next step to take. But in Mimblewimble, the use of binding factor, which I explained earlier as headers, light headers, and an analysis of these light headers is actually what helps to make this system speed up, helps to make it minimize the use of memory. And because of this minimal use of memory, the system becomes scalable, highly scalable. And also, because the system doesn't use public address system but actually binding factors. Binding factors are actually secret codes or secret phrases that are common only to the users of a particular transaction, the participants of a particular transaction. No other person has that binding factor. It's not stored anywhere online, so there's no way to actually trace back the users of that transaction. The next thing I'll be speaking about will be solutions that the Beam platform brings or makes available to the current challenges in the cryptocurrency space. Now, I'll be talking on these solutions under two headings. The first one will be the privacy, the privacy that this Beam provides, and also scalability. Now, I talked about privacy, where through the Mimblewimble technology, Beam provides maximum privacy for the users of a particular transaction, the participant of a particular transaction, by actually making use of binding factor instead of public address system, where through the binding factor, only those users, those participants of that transaction actually know the binding factor. And since this binding factor is stored nowhere else online, these users cannot be traced back. You can't trace back to the users of those transactions. Now, secondly, scalability. We talked about scalability, and we said that through the use of avoiding to individually analyze the contents of the history, the transaction history, but rather analyzing them with the use of the headers being the binding factor. A lot of memory is being saved, and these transactions can occur at a much better speed, and then it can accommodate more transactions per time. Now one of the questions asked was why privacy for a store of value coin. Now, a coin or a currency that is used as a store of value is actually a means of preserving the value for which services were rendered. Let me give an example. Let's say I work in a typing store, a store where I get to type materials. Now, I work for an hour and I'm paid $20, right? Now, the money or the currency actually given to me is actually a store of value for the service for which I rendered. Now, when I want to now actually get value or get value for other services other people render or other products, probably I want to buy food, I want to pay the cabman or whatever service I want to pay for. It is that value for which I worked for as a typist and saved or stored in that currency is what I'll use actually to get value or services I desire or products I desire. So I'll then use the dollars or the $20 and then use that to purchase the products or to purchase the services. So you find out now that the currency is actually a store of value, is storing the value for which I worked for. Now, if we have a currency that stores value and this currency has little privacy, you find out now that people can easily probably hack in and then steal the value for which I worked for. So you see now that we have to have a means of preserving and protecting, not just preserving value, but we also have to protect value, the value we have stored in currencies. Now, finally, I'll be talking about some use cases. Now, the use case I'll be talking about here is one, if you have an investor who actually, an individual cryptocurrency investor that saves his money in cryptocurrencies. Now, saving your money online in hot wallets requires a lot of confidence and belief. Now, but let's now imagine now that he's saving his money in a hot wallet, but he's now skeptical about how private or how secure his cryptocurrency is. Now, if he's making transactions online and he gets to find out now that those transactions can be linked back to his wallet or his identity, it makes him skeptical and it makes him uncomfortable. But by the time he gets to find out about Beam and know that he can actually make transactions that cannot be traced back to him, he becomes comfortable with the issue of cryptocurrencies, storing his wealth on cryptocurrencies, and then he can then save his investment in these wallets. He's no longer worried or bothered about being traced or being found. Now, another application of the Beam cryptocurrency is in companies where these companies actually have investors that support them, investor sponsors. Now, these investors actually have a right to know how money is being spent in an organization, how money is being paid. But also, you might want to consider information from employees. And you also want to make all these transactions on one level of the blockchain. Now, Beam gives you this opportunity and gives you this privilege where you can now actually, on the same level of the blockchain, conceal this information from employees and also reveal it to investors, reveal it to those who are investing in the company. And the final application of the Beam platform, my application, is it can be used actually in government parastatals. Now, you see, government parastatals are places where there are huge sums of money being transferred or being sent. Now, these sums of money, for instance, now you have a government parastatal where you have deals with contractors. Now, you have to pay these contractors, and probably you pay them through an e-system, an electronic system. Now, as long as there is a record, there's a way to there's an electronic record, it is prone to hackers. That account is prone to hackers. Now, what should be done is that we need a system that can give adequate protection and privacy to both the sender and the receiver, and that's what Beam does. Now, with the Beam system, you find out now that government parastatals can actually make payments to their contractors without worrying about being traced back or hackers chasing back to those accounts to hack those funds. Now, in conclusion, I would like to say that Beam is a platform that has come to revolutionize the cryptocurrency industry. It's going to bring in privacy, scalability, efficiency to the cryptocurrency industry. We don't have a coin as at now that is as scalable or that is as private as Beam. The other coins actually are not scalable. They're not. Their scalability is actually low, not because they were not worked on, but because there was a lot of focus on providing privacy, providing a private coin. And because of this focus on privacy now, scalability had to give way, scalability had to suffer. Now, Bitcoin has come to change that and to provide a new way of carrying out cryptocurrency transactions. Thank you.